Hello there and welcome to bnettv.com. I'm Michelle Sklar with the Mobile Marketing Association's Forum in Los Angeles, and I am joined by the MMA President, Laura Marriott. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thanks, Michelle. Always good to have you guys here.
Absolutely. So I've really been enjoying this conference. We've also had a team at the mobile internet world, and so we're really inundated with all sorts of talk on the mobile space. But there's some really great themes that are coming about right now, and I thought maybe I could share some of the things that I think are important, and you can let me know if in fact they are important.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. So one of the things at the mobile internet world that we were talking about was starting to view the mobile space as not something as separate from the web, and really actually having a more holistic approach, because in effect the essence of the technologies are the same. The ability and desires to communicate in this really kind of uniform manner is the same.
Okay.
When we look at
Keep going.
Okay. When we look at mobile marketing, we actually end up breaking things down a lot more and looking at these various components that go into marketing on the mobile phone, and we actually try to look at it separately from how we would market over the internet, or how we would market over television, or how we would market over, radio or print media or that type of thing. And I was just wondering, just a little bit of thought on that, if you will.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good assumption, and I'll tell you, when we first started going out and educating brands on how to use mobile, there was a feeling that internet and mobile web are the same thing, and in fact, they're really not. The fact is, you've got an infrastructure that's controlled by an operator. You've got to work with the operator in the mobile environment. You've got very different delivery mechanisms, given that every handset is different and how that information is presented to the consumer is different. So repurposing content for mobile, creating content specific to mobile is absolutely key. One of the things we hear about all the time is the iPhone, is a G phone going to change the experience for the consumer? Sure, but at the end of the day, you still have to deliver relevancy. The type of content that the consumer is going to interact with on their device is very different than what they would do sitting at their desk with the internet.
Absolutely, and it's interesting because yesterday when I was in Boston, I was like, yeah, all seems very unified, it's all the same, and I'm like, yeah, I've got to stop looking at things so compartmentalized, because the technologies are really, in a sense, quite similar with what it is that we're trying to do. We had a chance to speak with Steve Bratt, who is the president of the World Wide Web Consortium. Okay. And Tim Berners-Lee is considered the father of the World Wide Web. He was the original inventor of HTML, and they're very much active in the mobile space. And then I come here, and I'm this morning sitting in the session with the fellow that was talking about the Smirnoff ad.
Right.
And it was just so interesting. It's like, no, you know what? There's so many things that are different. One of the things he talked about was that there's certain consistencies that you want to maintain in the different advertising mediums that you use, certain, visuals and colors and things like that. But you have to make sure that it's relevant to what the experience is going to be when you have a handset in front of you.
Right. Absolutely. You nailed it. And the importance is extending your brand through other traditional and digital media types, embedding that mobile call to action. Mobile is but one part of this entire equation. And the Smirnoff campaign, pocket bartender, all over.
Yes, pocket bartender, exactly. And I thought, I really appreciate when brands come up with more innovative ways to engage the consumer. The other thing that we were talking about as well is that there seems to be a real a paradigm shift, if you will, on how companies are making use of the leverage that they've gained over brands. If you look at the automotive industry, right? Automotive titans, they have owned advertising and branding for what seems like forever, to the point where they certainly have creative ads that are coming out there, but let's face it, they can do it with their eyes closed and their hands tied behind their back. Now all of a sudden, they're having to embrace new technologies, and they're having to go, well, people aren't necessarily going to buy a car every day. So how am I going to continue to get in the face of the consumer on a device that they don't leave home without?
Yep. As an auto manufacturer, I mean, it's one of the, you think about the types of brands that are using mobile today: automotive, travel, financial services, and CPG. And a few QSRs are certainly playing around the edges. It's the brands that want to be in front of the consumer all of the time. And because you're able to create this dialogue, this conversation of engagement with the consumer, companies like Subaru, who we heard from today, or we're going to hear from Land Rover tomorrow, they are extending their reach. They're putting the control of scheduling a test drive, configuring a car, getting product information in the hands of the consumer wherever they are. So now you don't have to be at a car lot when the car lot is open.
Absolutely.
You can get that information immediately.
Absolutely. I love when we listen to case studies here, and we get to hear about these really creative ways in which people have been able to deliver their message and engage the consumer. And I just think it's phenomenal. It's one of the things that I really appreciate about the forums that the MMA hosts. I always walk out going, wow, that's a really cool idea. That's really neat. And then they come up with things that, again, going back to the Smirnoff campaign, with hopefully some longevity. And I think that, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about that, but the success of the business isn't just going to be about the one campaign that was successful right there and then. It's about sustainability.
Right.
And maybe we can talk a little bit about, some of the thoughts and discussions that the MMA is having on helping businesses and helping marketers, if you will, develop sustainable business models.
Yeah, I mean, the key is once you have initially established that dialogue with the consumer, keep it going. Keep sending them, obviously assuming they've opted in to receive this information, but send them information on products, send them exclusive offers. It's all about exclusivity, relevance, unique information delivered to the mobile. So continue to just support that campaign and that initiative.
Absolutely. One of the other sessions that I really enjoyed and again had an opportunity to speak to an individual yesterday about the same thing, which is the Yahoo, their new search.
Yeah, One Search.
One Search. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we were talking about is that when you're searching for something on your mobile device, again, it's a different experience than when you're searching for something on the World Wide Web. You have one hand and you're quickly trying to find something and hope that you've got the right letters.
As you're driving.
Yes, exactly. As you're driving, I want to find out where I'm going and hope that I don't have to look at my... It's a totally different experience. So I just, these two different experiences at each show is just something that leaves you to think about.
We talk a lot about the potential of mobile, and I think, you talk to any of the 400 people here, and everyone will say mobile will become the first screen. Mobile enables a conversation that a marketer has never had the opportunity to extend between device and brand before. So it gives you this incredible power.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the growth of the MMA. Every time we get a chance to sit down, the organization has been expanding and expanding. Yeah. Give us some numbers. Give us an idea of where we are right now and what some of the goals are.
Yeah, absolutely. We have just crossed over 540 member companies worldwide, still representing the entire ecosystem. Offices or established regions in Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East and Africa, North America, about to launch Latin America. So we have, for the first time, truly become a global organization. And probably the best thing is we're starting to see engagement from the marketers. So Target, Toyota, a lot of the media companies who've been around with us since the beginning are getting more and more engaged. So it's a good time to be involved.
Yes, absolutely. Can you give us any indications of maybe some of the initiatives that you're looking at, announcing, if you will, coming into the new year?
Yeah, so if you look at the top initiatives, measurement is critical. I think you've heard a lot about that today. What are consistent ad currency definitions? How is a brand going to measure success of their campaigns across media? So measurement is significant. We'll be coming out with a white paper on that in the next couple of weeks. You've also got mobile advertising. So defining the guidelines and formats for every media type is also top of our list. And then there's really, the convergence of content and advertising and ensuring that we are ahead of that and working with our media and content providers to ensure that their needs are addressed as they consolidate their requirements back to the operators is key as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate that. We're here at the Mobile Marketing Association's Forum in Los Angeles. We've been speaking with MMA President Laura Marriott, and I'm Michelle Sklar with BNetTV.com.